back to Wildwood Cottage and welcome back to Wales. Lovely to have you here. Hope you're all doing well. Well, it's still grim. We haven't had any sun. Apart from that last video we showed you when we had the sunshine. And it's still windy. So I've come out in the garden today and I've gone and put the chickens in the polytunnel. They can have a scratch and a mooch for me. Polytunnel's been blown around all over the place. I don't think that mesh screen that they put at the top of the door works very well in my polytunnel. It gets very windy. Anyway, so polytunnel. I haven't done any more because it was the weekend and it's been far too wet. So the chickens are going to come in here. You're going to have to excuse the wind. It's very windy. And I've got my hands full, so I'm going to drop you. Just a sec. I've got some leftover soup for the chickens. It was disgusting. It was that peas stuff, that bigger peas that you get dry in a box. I left the tablets in and the soap water and just started cooking the whole thing, thinking it was like a veg stock. Oh, it was disgusting. So the chickens can have a mooch. I've also got some scrap for the chickens. It's pumpkin seeds, so they're going to have that. And I've got some more things to show you. So I'm just going to go and get the chickens and then we'll be back in a minute. I still haven't got my plants planted because I haven't decided where I'm going to put them yet, and it's been too wet. So I've got a few other jobs I need to get on with today, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing. I talked about them in my last video, but today is the day that we're going to get stuck in and get the victory garden organised, because I keep saying it, but it keeps getting wet and then I can't get things done. Oh, just a sec, the gate's open. Either the wind's blowing it or someone's been in. That's not going to keep the fox out, is it? Right. So I've got a new gate to go on there. Might get that done this week if I can get some hinges. So shall I show you the first thing? We've got a new wood storage area to build. And that's going to get all my wood dry and build a fence. So just take it out and I'll show you. Right, so I've got this boundary line here and the fox is hopping the fence and coming through the garden. I need to move that compost bin that's down there and put that with the other compost bins outside the shed. So what I want to do is roughly from that tree there along to this post here is build some wood storage. Now I found this really easy way of doing it on the internet, and what you do is you use some square concrete blocks. So I'm going to put one there and one there, and then you put posts in. I'm going to use fence posts. You just slot them in and then you pop a piece of wood along the bottom, thinking of using that pallet, not sure yet, and then you stack your logs up, put plastic over the top, and then the air can get on both sides on that side and on that side as the wind blows through, and it'll dry my logs out. So that's the plan for that, because it is going to keep things dry, because it's going to have the plastic on, and we've got these big conifer trees and not a lot of rain gets underneath, so that's going to be perfect. And then what I've got to do is I've got to raise the fence level here and here, and hopefully that's going to keep the fox out. And what I've got to grow along there is some jasmine, some of that white star jasmine that's got those white flowers on. Now we do get a lot of sun coming through there. Now the tree canopy is gone, we get a lot of light coming in here, so they will do really well. Once all that stuff is cleared there, there's then going to be another log storage from that tree there, which is a hazel tree, to that tree there, and that's going to provide another fence. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put chicken wire on the back, and that'll stop my logs blowing out, and it'll stop the fox trying to push the logs out to get in the garden. So that's my plans for that. I'm thinking here, those fruit trees that I've got, I'm planting them along here. I have got a fence to go back in, so that needs to be done first. But then those dwarf trees, the medlar, the quince, the greengate and the plum will be going along here, and they'll be getting planted there. All this has to move, and then on this side here will be another log storage, and it's going to go the full length all the way along there, with a little gap in between for a gateway to walk through to the veg garden down there. And then I'll have plenty of log storage to get all my logs dry. All this here needs to be dried out, so it needs to be taken down to the garage, cut up and dried out, and then that's usable for this year, because it's been here since we moved in about 4 years ago, and some of it was already dry. The stuff under that plastic there was already dry, and so was the stuff under that plastic there, and that had been there for donkey's years on another garden that I used to use. So that's the plans for that. Right, so these blocks here are the blocks I'm going to use for my wood storage. Put a post in there and a post in there, and as you can see they're quite long, and I get plenty of wood in that space, and then if I want to I can always put another one on the front of it and make it even bigger. Right, so the other thing I want to do is, excuse the wind noise if you can hear it, is empty this compost bin and empty this compost bin, and I'm going to use it in the greenhouse, in the polytunnel, on the soil down there. This one is full, completely full. There you go, look at all those worms in there, there's masses of them, so I think it desperately needs emptying and it needs going onto the garden. So that's what's going to go in my polytunnel. So that's that. This one is just garden waste. As you can see, that's nearly ready, and this one is going in the chicken run because they like all that sort of stuff. Right, the chickens. Hello girls, we're going out again. Now in here hasn't been done for ages. It's all compacted, they can't scratch it, it's wet, it's full of muck, and it needs to come out. So as you can see, the girls are looking a bit fed up. So they're going to go in the polytunnel, and I'm going to get the hack, and I'm going to hack all this out, scoop it out, put it in the wheelbarrow and take it down. I'm going to bag it, and then that's going to go on my fruit bushes and be saved to go around my vegetables. So I'm just going to take them down to the polytunnel. So that's them safely installed in the polytunnel. Pippa's always complaining at the moment. She does that all day. No idea what's the matter with her. But they're happy. They're out and about. They're out their run. Stops them going stir crazy. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was these. These are the plants I got from B&M that I mentioned on my Instagram account. And they were £6. I got this one, Cox Apple Orange, Cox's Pippin. Don't see these very often in the supermarket. I think they're nice trees. It's a nice open plant. So that's going to go up the top of the garden. It's a lovely looking plant. I was very pleased with that for £6. That was the best plant I could find in the lot. That one was from Charlie's. And these are the ones I got from B&M. Now, a lady mentioned that maybe I should have some more pear trees to pollinate the pear tree that I've already got, because maybe I needed another pollinator. So I listened to what you said, and I got two. So I got this one. This is a commis pear. And I think I've got a couple of these in the garden already, but it was a nice tree. It's nice and tall. It's 5'5". It's my height. And yeah, it's just a good tree. So I've got that one. And I got another one. This is a little bit smaller, but again, it's still a good tree. And as I say, these were two for £12. Two for £12 from B&M. So I was very impressed with them. Good trees. Hopefully they'll start fruiting soon. So they're going to go up in the Victory fruit garden at the top of the garden and get planted in amongst my flowers. I've also got here, these are my lettuce that I got at the supermarket. They're coming up, they're getting there. These I found in a tub from last year. This is mustard, Mazuna or whatever it's called. It's so that's starting to come back nicely. I've also planted the ends off my spring onions, and they seem to be pushing themselves out, so they seem to be happy in there. So I need to push them all back in. So they're growing there. I'm hoping they're going to give me some nice new spring onion shoots off the top to use in my cooking. So that's them. I found this in the greenhouse. It's a Russian kale, Russian boar I think it's called. So I brought that in, and that seems to be happy here now. It seems to be enjoying its little spot. And I've got these other two lettuce. So once I've got myself organised, I'm going to pot them up as well. I've got another 2 of those. You get 3 in a pack. These were 79p. So they need to go in as well. So they're going to go in a tub like this until the bed's ready, and then they'll go in the polytunnel bed. So that's that. So these are the jasmine I was talking about. They're climbers, and they climb quite well. They've got all this growth on, and this is new growth since last year, since I bought them. Now there's 4 in a tub. So I've really, in theory, I've got 5 tubs. I've got 20 plants here. So they're just going to go all the way along the fence. And if I see the flowers, I see the flowers. If I don't, other people will get the benefit of them. But it'll just really secure that fence line and stop any foxes getting in. So that's what I'm going to do with them. You've seen these pretty little flowers, aren't they lovely? I didn't know I had these, but aren't they lovely? I'm going to see if I can take some cuttings off them and put them around the garden and put them in the wall. Right. So this is inside the chicken coop, where they spend the day. Normally they spend all day in here, and they get to scratch and peck and perch, and this is their roosting bar. Just here is their roosting bar. That's their cobbled together little hutch that they've been sleeping in since last year. In that corner just there is the remains of their old hutch. The tyre is where they have the dust bath, then they've got their food, and their water's just here in the corner. Now I've got perspex all the way round, so they're very dry, but what I do need to do is scoop out all this muck that's in here and get rid of it, because it's been in there since last year, and now I think it's just past its best, and I think the hens are struggling and it needs to come out. So the problem that I have is that it's very wet getting up the garden, so it just gets neglected, gets forgotten about. I come in, put the food in, check they're all right, and go back to the house. But that's not the way to do it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say, is take all this out, and then we'll start again, and we'll put some more stuff in. So I'll just show you what I'm doing. Right, so I'm just using my hack, hacking it up. And that's just loosening it all up. And then what I'm going to do, put this down a minute, is I'm going to put it all in my trolley and then mix it with compost and put it on my veg garden. It's going to be full of nitrogen, full of chicken poo, hay, straw. They've had grass in here, their feathers from when they've molted. So I really need to do something with this space for them to make it a better space, really. Right, so I've only done probably about a quarter of the run, and I've done, it's about 4 buckets of that, 3 or 4 buckets of that size, one of those tubs, and this is how much I've got so far. It's a big cart, I think it's a 125 litre cart, maybe bigger, the one with the big wheels on, and it's 2/3 full already, so I'm going to have plenty. Didn't realise how much was in there, but this is just really good compost. Don't know whether you can see. It's got loads of organic matter in it, loads of poo in it off the chickens. It will need sieving because there's bits of string and things like that in there. There's bits of plastic for some reason. I think this came out of the compost bin originally. I mean, there's a peg here. I mean, what's the peg doing there? So, yeah. I think this came out of that bin last year, from what I can remember. I give it to the chickens. So it's been through the compost bin, been through the chickens, and now it can go on the garden. So I'll mix it with some of that block compost, that core compost, and then that can go on the garden and get used around the fruit, around the perennial foods, and maybe some more in the polytunnel to raise the border up a bit. I may just keep some back in a bag, and then I can use that on the used raised beds when I get them done. So carry on. So the tyre, as I say, is their dust bath, and it's just wood ash out of the fire. And apparently it's good for keeping away mites and things like that. And they bathe in that and they rub it all over them to save me doing it. I mix in diatomatic earth as well with it. And then they have a dust bath. They mix it all in their feathers, and Daisy absolutely loves it. But unfortunately, it's going to have to move, and I'll have to replace it and let them have it again. It's a nice dry spot there. For some reason, there's water getting in. I'm not sure if it's just simply the amount of rain that we've had, but the roof doesn't leak. So, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do now. Move the tyre out of the way and carry on with shifting the earth. Right, so we're back in the kitchen and I'm going to make some Welsh cakes. I'm using this book, Marguerite Pattern, and we are doing the Welsh cake. On the bottom of the page there, we're doing this recipe here. I've got this book in the charity shop. I think it was £1 or 50p. Can't remember. Yeah, it was either 50p or £1. So we're going to do the Welsh cakes. I've got my ingredients. I'm waiting for the stove. I've got my mixing bowl and I've got my scales. So the recipe calls for 2 ounces of dripping. Now, I don't want to use oil, so I think I'm going to do the same as what I did with my shortbread. And I'm going to use butter. And I'm not sure whether to put the hemp oil in and give them a nutty flavour. No, I'm just going to put the olive oil in. Just there. I've got some avocado oil here, so keeping in with the make, do and mend. It is open. It does need it using. Just says avocado oil. So we'll use that, I think. Yeah, we'll use that. That's got a nice smell to it, so that'll be nice. Right, we're using our ounces setting again. Right, so we've got our 1 ounce of oil. Now I want 1 ounce of butter. I'm just going to melt that on the stove and I'll be back in a minute. Right, okay, so I'm going to weigh out my flour now, and I need 6 ounces of self-raising flour. And I want to add the flour that I've got left from my bread. I'm going to put that in as well, because that's got some freshly ground organic wholemeal in it as well. So that'll be good. Okay, so there's our 6 ounces of flour. 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, which I haven't got nutmeg to hand, so I'm going to put some mixed spice in, and it says 1 teaspoon. So I've got a half. Right, okay. I've got to do these in the frying pan. I didn't realise. Now I'm not going to put sugar in, but I am going to put dried fruit in, because I like dried fruit. Says 1 egg and a tablespoon of milk. Now I'm using almond milk at my rations, and I've got my own eggs. So I'll mix that in with the butter, I think. So I'll mix all that in now. Got a bit scrambled eggy, but never mind. Didn't think of that. So I want 2 of these, because this is half a tablespoon. That's 1, 2. Mix it all together. Made a little bit of honey. This was a free jar that was given to me by the bee man. Pour it all in. Yeah, I've lived in Wales 9 years and I've never made Welsh cakes. Isn't that disgusting? It's so easy. This is all you have to do. It's really easy. Why have I not done that? And then it says to roll it out. Right, I'll just get my pastry sheet. Right, so here's our dough. Make sure it's all tied together. I've just put a bit of flour on the board just to help with the process. Now it says to do them in a frying pan, so, or on a griddle. I have got a griddle, maybe I should root it out. 1/4 inch thick it says. Right, I reckon that's a 1/4 inch. Thereabouts. Says it makes 12, so let's see what we get out of it, shall we? Right, I've only got a 3 16ths of an inch pastry cutter, so that'll just have to do. 1. I'm not going to get 12. Right, I've got 11. Not going to get any more. That's not bad, but the pastry cutter was bigger than it said, so take these over and put them on the grill. Okay, so my Welsh cakes are in my ceramic frying pan. I haven't got any oil. I wiped it round with a little bit of the oil that was left in the pan. So I just need to leave them for 2 minutes, turn them over, and then 2 minutes on the other side, and then we'll do the others. So my Welsh cakes are cooked. This is my first lot. I've had a taste. They taste delicious. They're a bit scone-like, but I like that because I could put a bit of butter and a bit of homemade jam on them. So I like that idea. I can practice and make them better next time. Maybe make more mixture. But yeah, very pleased with them. Very pleased indeed. Right, so I've finished my Welsh cakes. Very nice. Very tasty. I'm serving it with some butter, just a little bit. I'm serving them warm, and then the butter, I won't use as much butter, just a little bit. So yeah, they're very nice, very nice. So I've had a busy day. I've made 2 lots of bread. I've made an Italian bread to go with our tea. And I used flour that I already had. Some garlic and some mixed herbs. Mixed all that in together. I've just followed the basic bread recipe, just a little bit less ingredients. And my wholemeal bread is rising, getting ready to go in the oven. And my shortbread's finished. So all those recipes are going to be to come. The bread and the shortbread recipe will be after this one. Right, so it's going dark and it's about 4:30, 4:45. And it's a bit of a dull day today. We're forecast snow, so that'll be fun. Anyway, excuse me, I'm out of breath. I've been fighting with the base of the pot of the chicken coop. I finally managed to loosen everything, and it was a right mess. It was a right state. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I let it get that bad. But I think it'll be a lot better for them. So I'll just turn you around and show you what I've done. So that cart over there is now full to overflowing. I can't put any more in. That's to keep the wind out because it's very windy here at the moment. And we're forecast wind and rain tonight. So that can stay where it is like that, out of the way. And I've loosened all of this, but it needs bagging up. So what I thought I'd do, because it's so wet, I've loosened it, pulled it into one space. The chickens can work that tomorrow before I come down to them, and then it can all go in a bag and get stored away till it's dried out, and then it can get used on the garden. So I haven't had time to do their hutch. I didn't start this job till about 3 o'clock, so that's going to have to get done tomorrow. We're forecast a lot of rain tomorrow, so that's a job that I can get done in the rain because it's dry in here. So that was my thinking today, to get the work done that needed the door open so I don't get wet. And tomorrow I can focus on building the new coop. So yeah, I'll talk to you about that tomorrow because I'm going in, I'm tired, I need to get the chickens in. And yeah, nearly time for them to go to bed. But that'll be a lot better. Right, so excuse my look. I've been fighting with a spade and the bottom of the chicken coop. So yeah, I'm going to go in and when we come back tomorrow, we'll have a look and we'll have a check and I'll show you around the coop again. And then we'll carry on tomorrow. So I'll see you in the morning. So I think that's it for today. Can't think of anything else to show you. I've been making more bread, but that's nearly gone. And I'm getting better with every time I do it. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm going to go. I've had a long day. I'm tired. And I've got some sewing to finish. I've been putting some elastic in a skirt for a lady. And I've been fixing a dress that was broken. So I can wear that. So yeah, I'm doing my little bit for Make Do and Mend today. And I think that's it. So if you have enjoyed my video, do like and subscribe. Do hit that notification bell and that'll tell you when I upload new videos so you can keep up to date with my wartime challenge. And yeah, I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go and do the tea and get myself organised. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll see you soon. So enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Bye for now. Bye-bye.